It is 7 o'clock, so can I welcome you to the September Finance, Employment and Services Committee. Are there any apologies? Well, I know there's Glenda's. I think there's Brian's, isn't there?
I don't think that's yes. Yes, I've got apologies from Brian Wildman and Glenda Clegg.
Are there any declarations of interest? No. Item 4, the minutes of the August meeting. Would someone like to either make any comments on them or move them or and second them? So we can approve them. We seconded. Those in favour? Thank you. Public forum, there's no one here and there's no one online, is there?
Yep.
No. Exclusion of the public. That does apply to one item somewhere, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, item 12. Yeah. Item 7, financial update.
Right, the only thing I did want to mention in this item is that you will notice from the detailed budget within playgrounds, we have actually gone over budget for repairs and maintenance. Now this has mainly occurred because we have had some damage, vandalism, etc. that we've had to deal with. And if you do recall last year, because we stripped the budget back, so we didn't have to increase it by too much. I did anything that had an earmark reserve, I reduced the repairs and maintenance budgets just down to virtually nothing. So this is just to get to your authorization to transfer money from the earmark reserve back into that budget.
Is that the full 30,000 or?
No, it won't be the full. If I can have a look.
I can't find all that.
Right, so we've gone over by just over £5,000, so I would probably recommend that we probably transfer 6,000 out of the earmark reserve into the budget.
Yeah, no, I'll move that. I just gave myself heart failure, but I was on the wrong line of buffet. Not including the inspections.
No, the inspections is in a different cost code.
Any more comments? No? And you've no more comments, Gina? No?
No.
Comment? Would someone like to move that we accept the finance reports?
Yep,
Or let them all together if you want. Yeah?
Yeah.
Fully seconded? Yeah. Those in favour? Thank you. Item 8.
Hold on, before you go to item 8,
Go
I'm
on.
just going to give a slight blues update. Just that we have got some of the figures in, but not all of them. So it's looking like we will get round about £4,500 in ticket sales income. That's based on the 90-10 split that was agreed. We also have got about 1,900 in merchandise. The camping, we should get just over 3,300 from our split of the campaign. We don't know yet how many people just paid on the day. We've got a meeting tomorrow with Bert to go through the figures. 3,300-ish. And bar sales, we got 6,887. 6,887. There's also the merchandise split as well that we sold at the public. And the other cost that will need to come out is obviously overtime. Which always obviously comes down to the Blues budget. And the PRS. So we're just trying to work out how much, we're just waiting for PRS to get back to us to find out how much that's going to be. So, but it is looking that we are going to be within budget, which is good. Well, there are some costs to
Yeah.
come out. Yeah.
I take it from that, that'll offsets the other side, the other page 14 then, the Blues.
Yes, it is on page 14. I think.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah,
'cause you got
so
the-
there's certain other things to add into that budget.
So they'll
take
come off that. Instead of saying run it off to next year, that'll just offset it this year then.
That'll come off there.
Yeah.
I can tell you that we have sold some tickets already for next year. So we have got some income already for next year.
But it certainly does look that we're well within the figure that we agreed in the budget last year for what the Blues could do.
And any profit that is made, obviously by Cont Blues Society is just going straight back into the festival.
I think in a strange way, the fact that everything was here, just, I know there were deficiencies, I suppose, with the room at the Exchange project, but there seemed to be quite a bit of people leaving there, going in there, and there was more action this end of town than normally.
There was in Newmarket Street, certainly.
Yeah,
It was
I mean,
Yeah.
the three, well, certainly the bottom two, Boyce's Barrel and Mojo's, did a very good job. I mean, Mojo's particularly, despite the man falling off the bar stool that he put there, he missed me. So I think, it bodes well for future things, and particularly as we've sold only a handful at this stage.
Yeah.
But that must be the first time for a long time, probably the first time since this council took it over that we've had that commitment from people.
We have released an early bird, so they are discounted tickets at the moment. That will be for a limited period. Then obviously we'll go back up to full price.
I think we sold at least one, didn't we? Well, the festival was still on for next year.
Yeah.
Anything else on finance? No?
No.
No,
that's all
right.
okay.
So we'll move on then to item 8, which is the Lancashire County Council bus service. I'll call it bus service plan. I won't call it improvement because I'm not convinced it is.
Basically, they want our feedback on this before it goes out to public consultation. So any feedback we can give them, then I think we just obviously need to point out any issues that we think could arise from doing this, problems that may arise, etc., like loss of passing train, etc.
Have we had assurances from the county council that there'll be a full proper consultation with things in the library and things in the town hall that people can come and look at, because the piece of paper that came with it says that relevant still any the sustainable transport corridor and any associated parking restrictions, blah blah blah, will be consulted on through the traffic regulation orders procedure, which means an advert in the paper and possibly, if you're lucky, a notice on a lamppost if you can still read it after the weather's got at it. Have we actually had a
Nothing physical, I don't think. It says that they're intending to undertake an online engagement session for the local community. It says in the coming weeks, so.
I think we should ask them. This really is a major change that they're suggesting. And it's a change that has been, well, it's only about 2 years now. Geez, only about 3 years short of 50 years since it, since Craddock Road was made one way and Market Street one way. So what they're actually proposing is very radical, and I can see that it'll perhaps speed the bus service up between Dockery Street and Windy Bank, but in other places I'm not sure that it will, because I think there's going to be congestion at the corner of Craddock Road and I suppose it's Church Street, isn't it, really? I think the problems of turning left out of Keighley Road won't be as difficult as first thought. Because when I've looked at the plan again, the traffic lights or traffic going east, sorry, on Craddock Road are sufficiently set back so that there'll be a turning circle.
Unless someone jumps lines.
Well, there are all sorts of, I think, potential problems with it, in that it's going to be very difficult, I think, for anybody coming up Windy Bank. I think it possibly increases the chance of somebody trying to do a dog leg to go down Combe Lane, which we know they do now. So yeah, I think that is giving them more incentive, and it will definitely increase traffic down. I'll give it its proper name, Marketplace, because at the moment that's one way, the opposite way.
Can I just jump in there?
Yeah, go on.
Top of Windy Bank, that section of road, what I've read into it, is going to be 2 ways. So they're going to dog leg anyway, because you'll be able to turn right if that's going to be a 2-way road.
Looking at the plan, it shows a bit of a bump coming out in front of
Top of Windy Bank. Yeah.
Now, if they're doing that, it's going to be very difficult for somebody coming up Albert Road and Church Street to turn left if the road is 2-way, which
That's what I've read online. There's going to be a 2-way street
Only for buses.
for buses, taxis.
Yeah.
So you got somebody coming up Windy Bank. If they're a taxi, they're going to turn right. If you're in a car, they're going to turn right.
no, you
But
can't.
given that it's blue, does that not mean it's 2-way for all traffic?
It's 2-way for all traffic. The only way at the moment that it's going to be for either side of the market is where they're going to make it only for buses and taxis and bicycles.
Yeah,
So
between
every-
those two
So
red.
between them two
Yeah.
sections. So, but the road either side on Market Street is going to be a 2-way street. The only place that things that are changing is Marketplace. So
Yeah,
it's being turned. The one-way road is going to be inverted 180.
Yeah.
So that's the big change there.
Yeah.
But the issue as well on here is you've got the car park next to the market, which at the moment consultation, they're on about reducing the parking spaces. You look at where the shelter is opposite the outside the library and going to the left as you look, it's saying taxi stand restricted parking. So we're going to be losing 2 parking bays for normal, 2 parking bays for disabled. So we're losing parking in the town centre, but one person's actually asked the question, and it's the landlord for the Red Lion. He parks on that car park. He says, how do I get in and out if we turn it to one, buses only in that section? Because like they say, you get winter, you can't go up and down Dockrake because it's the death slide.
And if it's not a bus route, they won't grit it.
No.
I think this is the problem. There are lots of, it's all right saying they'll have an online consultation or this sort of consultation. I think the sort of consultation is needed with somebody in the room with, so that you can ask questions like that. Because it just, I just think it's likely to cause more rat running in unforeseen ways. I think people might try and rat run down Walton Street. If you live in sort of off West Street, that's going to make that a bit more difficult, I think, for getting in and out and moving around. There are a whole range of shops from like Dixie's Chicken. I don't think we're that bothered about, but nevertheless, it's a business. But they're then butchers, hairdressers, and all sorts between there and the library, which I'm sure will lose passing trade if people come past and think, oh.
When you're saying that, one of the butchers on to the left, as we look at where Birtwick, it's pretty much the houses, the opposite side, you've got let's say hairdressers, butchers. One of the butchers actually said when they did the shut the road off in town for the Colm Bids go-karting, they said they lost so much passing traffic and so much, they said we might as well shut shop. They lost that much money for that one day. But if they're going to turn around and look at this now, it's taking people away from the town centre. That's the way I see it.
That was my thought, my initial thought.
I think we're missing something, because I think you could go from here, if you're going to Red Lion, to Red Lion car park, exactly the same way as you do now.
No, you won't be able to do it. So if you were to go that road now, you'd have to go all the way around to Skipton Road and come back in again.
Well, if you can come up Windybank and turn left.
Yep, you can then turn right on Marketplace.
Can't go through.
You can't go through because there's going to be barriers.
Can't go through.
It's that last bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a no-go area between
Outside the market, really.
well, yeah, it is.
You'd only be able to access the car park, Dockrake Street.
Does it show here? A little tree there.
It's the other side of that. If you've got anybody who's coming up with wagons to do delivery, they're going to be bullied.
Irrespective of what we're going to comment, I don't really want to drop any extra work on Gina or anyone in office. Would it be helpful to us, and would we be being helpful to the people of the town centre and the people of Colm? In the past, what they've had to do trying to change this one-way system before. One were in nineties, and they certainly held an open day in Court Library. Could I suggest, I might be a bit of an upheaval for Gino, but can I suggest that we offer the room downstairs for 2 full days during the consultation, for them to have a presentation on downstairs with county officers here to answer questions?
I think you'd be looking at more than 2 days. If you've got people who are working, they're not going to be able to get it Monday to Friday.
They won't do it for more than that.
That's, and we need some, if they were to be here for over a 2 day, here, or say a Monday and a Friday, or a Saturday and a Thursday, something like that, but to have display and their explanations. Because if you turn and say, if we have it just 2 days, you're going to have a low turnout.
I mean, it does say in capital letters that it's a concept only. What concept stage? Yeah. Because I can't see how it's going to ease traffic coming up Albert Road.
Well, let's not say 2 days. Let's say offer the room downstairs during the consultation for them to be able to put a presentation on and have county officers available on site to answer questions. And if need be, say for people who are not internet savvy or don't have internet, not everyone can do it online. Are you all right with doing that?
Yeah, I can ask whether they'll,
Well, all we can do is offer.
but whether they'll agree to.
Because it's disabled, it fits in perfect, doesn't it? Because we've got the big room downstairs, it's disabled access, anyone can get in and out, everything's on a level floor, there's ramp, there's everything.
Yeah. But one of their reasons behind it is to make buses run better.
Yeah.
But it's still going to take the bus the same amount of traffic and the flow between Whitewalls and the parish church. That isn't going to alter. So the only
They'll
bit
save £9 grand a year plus with county council. won't they?
the only bit that they're going to speed it up right is the little bit where this bus is on. So it seems an awful lot of people that in the end won't change it.
Being cynical, they'll save the fee that they pay to federal council for the use of the bus station.
But they can stop using the bus station
Anytime. they want.
anytime. Just
Well, there's no buses going in hardly anyway now.
No, I'd argue that because I don't use the bus. And the amount of times I've been there, there's been 3 buses. One in each bay that's waiting to load up, and one that might be early before he's due to start his shift. So you do need that space because you don't just have 3 buses, you'll have 4 buses, especially college.
But when you have a bus station, you should have a bus station that you can normally catch a bus in any direction.
Yeah.
You can only catch a bus there going west. All ones going east don't even go in east.
No, but they stop outside.
Yeah.
Like apart from the bus 60, which I need to speak to them about.
But we still need to put some comments together to send, I think.
I mean, the only option I said there is if they, how much would it cost for them to put these barriers in? How much would it cost for these the system to enable all the taxis to purchase to be able to get through? You might as well just put it down and say, okay, turn it to a 2-way street like Craddock and have that as access only. That saves how much money they're willing to spend. But at the moment, it is working. But if they start doing that, you're going to take out a lot of traffic in the town centre. To what I could see.
I don't get how 2 buses could be on that road between those.
Well, they never could. That was
It
the
used to be
problem.
a
It's
2-way
empty.
street.
that was yes. That was one of the reasons it changed.
It used to be going through Main Street, you get to about Tony's and bus would come all the way. And then everything stopped. And that's not going to change.
No.
Because there'll still be taxis going through, there'll still be buses going through.
The other way you're going to be able to do that is where you've got the loading bay at the other side of Windy Bank, is to take that footpath out to widen the road. So you don't have a loading bay there. And then in front of the market, either side, widen that out, so you got a road rather than. That's the only way I can see that, but you can get rid of all the parking down the other side. It's right saying we've got the two car parks, well, next to the market where, you know, I don't know what the updated plans are, but they're taking out 3 disabled bays and 4 or 5 normal bays. Plus outside the library, they're taking out them bays, which is 2 disabled bays. You're leaving, taking out that, because you've got Patricia where she'll just say, you're taking out the accessibility from the disability parking.
Turning that into taxi.
Yeah. It's reducing the capacity of the town and the access. But I say, I think this was possibly put in place when 2 years ago, when we were having Colne Police Station taken down, the bus station demolished, and the market was going to be rebuilt with the cinema. I think that has probably come from that section, looking forward, but because we're not getting the cinema now, they're going to be refurbishing the market hall. I don't know what's happening with the police station yet. I say demolition, that was going to get a car park for the bus station. But this is what hearsay is. Like I say, I agree with you. They need to come down and have somebody down explain.
Yeah.
Their decision behind it. Because at the moment, I think. Yeah, I say, yeah, okay, you could turn in that credit roll into 2-way, but have its access through the town as it is. It would have these days. I think we still had this one-way traffic. But no, like I say, bus stops.
So the only way to get into Red Line car park up there will be to turn
If you're coming up,
right into it.
if you're coming up from this side, you'd have to go turn right down either Colne Lane or Marketplace.
Yeah.
Or down by the side of
Back round the
Sure,
down, through back
all
through
the way
Main
around.
Street and then turn down top of Dockery.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
that is the only way in and out of that car park.
Which is a disincentive for shoppers to.
But they will gain a car park, wouldn't they?
Well, not really.
Well, they will, because I would imagine they'll make what is remains of the bus shelter after the bus shelters have gone out, the old bus station, I think that'll become a car park.
But nothing's been put forward about it. It just says Colne bus station to be decommissioned.
Yeah.
But I've nobody's got any plans of what to do with it.
Well, they can't, it's not theirs. Pendler have to do that. But I wouldn't think that could be in the car park.
I don't know. Because you're taking people. I can understand you know, I say right, say, okay, put it as a car park. I don't think.
I think most of this originates from wanting to have bigger and different events in town centre. That's what I think a lot of it stems from.
But you can do that now.
Yeah, you can. That's the reason for Bollard and them balls to be
Yeah, yeah.
anyway.
It's like, I mean, it doesn't look like proposing any
Right,
changes.
so what we're going to do, we're going to make the offer of the room downstairs. And then we need a list of comments to over. And do we want to do them now? We don't necessarily have to do them now, but I think we need to get them in for weekend. It doesn't actually say when the consultation is going to be. I think on the website,
Says in the
from
next
memory,
couple of
it says in
weeks.
the coming weeks.
The
doesn't
coming
it?
weeks, yeah.
Yes,
Week or weeks.
weeks,
Weeks.
the coming weeks, they're going to have, but they want our comments first. They're supposedly being kind to us and asking us, along with county councillors for area and Pendle councillors for area, for our comments, which is fine.
Yeah, so it says, we are intending to undertake an online engagement session with the local community in the coming weeks to help develop the finalised plans. We are giving you advance notice of the details for you to be able to comment direct on the proposals.
Don't stop us having a set back at Cherry, we can take part in the consultation as individuals if we want as well, yeah.
I mean, because like I say, because they're actually saying online consultation is great, like I say, for a certain demographic, but not for everybody. And if not everybody knows about it, there's nothing everybody's on social media for the Lancashire County
I
Council.
think they will do it online, but there's no to stop them doing it. One downstairs as well.
Yeah.
When you write to them and make the offer of the room downstairs, we'll get address that, they'll actually be. He's probably sent you a thing, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had quite a few dealings with him and they all met with the bush office and stuff like, and he is an okay sort of a guy, he's all right.
It's all right.
So that's like me personally, I think it's going to have adverse effects on the businesses inside. If we're trying to get the market back up, refurbish it, get it back in, run it up again, it's going to affect. To me, that's what it looks like. Because it's driving out the footfall of people who drive in.
But if you make it difficult to get into town centre and difficult to park, they'll just give it a miss and go in a shop somewhere on the way home.
I mean, as the Sainsbury's, so the shops in town, I suspect that
Well,
How do they get the
there's up to
delivery?
petrol stations now where you can buy bread and milk and stuff, isn't there? They'll just go there.
The deliveries for Tesco and the co-op,
Co-op.
they're in the back.
don't they? Yeah, but
Co-op has their own car park.
I don't think Tesco did.
They do,
You generally
Well,
find
they
Tesco
were-
parked in the front outside.
But yeah,
but they do have one.
But they always.
tend to
always
park
front
at the front.
But like I say, if you've got between Windybank number 1 and 13, you've got the loading bay. That means you're gonna have HCVs trying to turn down Marketplace.
Well, yeah, which is, it's not gonna happen.
Because that big yard is a
This
back
is-
at a bus station, isn't it, for all services, for Tesco and Co-op.
It's the other, I mean, it's the other side of that wall. I watched someone the other day trying to reverse into there. I mean, I could have gone. And that was only a 16.5 ton.
Well,
Um,
I think Boots Chemists, they just literally pull up just in front of the bus station. So it's on the road and they unload there, they just drag it all in from there.
But they won't be able to at the substation.
I'll say it's gonna cause, I think it will cause problems to the,
I think deliveries will be a problem. Access to car parks will be a problem because they're a bit misleading. Are the one at the back of well, it says post office yard, but how long is not been a post office yard? I don't know.
that's not it. I'm not post office.
It's at the back of the that is that long stay? I think that's long stay.
Wait,
The one at the back of the arcade.
Yeah.
So that's full. The car park on Parliament Street is not as big. It's not as big as it looks on the map here, on the plan. But that's short stay, as is the red line. But all the rest are long stay, so there'd have to be more. I would think the one at the Union would have to be changed to short stay. And possibly,
I think there's only 2 short stays now, isn't there?
yeah, the Parliament Street and Red Line.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the one that's on here where it says post office yard is always full. Track park on there. You can't. And it's virtually impossible.
Well, you got the school staff. You got the shop staff as well, that area.
Yeah, the same with the
Schools got their own car park anyway.
Or you mean across the road.
Probably make our events more expensive, because we'd have to close the road. We'd have to pay for a road closure, because we're our trailers.
Yeah, just that, which way do you take the all around?
Yeah, but you won't be able to close Parliament Street. You'd never be able to have a road closure on that again for that car park. To have an event on that car park, because it would leave a dead end up that road that you'd come to road closure and you won't be able to go anywhere, because if you come up, if you come into Market Street and you get to Parliament Street, the only place you can go is go left and go down it. You can't go right because there's nowhere to go, and you can't go straight up.
Well, you'd have to close the whole lot, so the
Well-
buses would have to run somewhere else like they have to do now.
Yeah, I don't think it solves.
Yeah, but there'd be that many one-way streets, it'd be even more difficult for them to run, because there'd probably be nowhere for them to run to, they'd be boxed in.
Like I say, the only different, I mean, it's like I say, you've got Market Street where it looks like they're looking at putting 1, 2, 3, 4 bus stops in. And then you've got 2 outside the police station, 1 outside the road. So if they shut off, like I say, if you've got members.
Which is no different to Warwick, where all their bus stops were there before, weren't they?
Yeah.
Because they were at from the
So,
precinct, weren't they, before?
like I say, if you're doing a car, they're like going for the town centre, forget it.
What you won't be able to do.
No.
Congala wouldn't have, because it can't come through the town centre. They have to go around Credit Road. Which, you know, the whole point of it is going through there, it attracts the crowd, which goes into the shops. I don't think it's been thought through enough.
Like I say, if they do want to carry on and say do it kind of just 2-way, get rid of the barriers and have it as access only. But they won't alleviate anything apart from half the traffic gets to there, realise it's complete job, stop there and go around.
Access only doesn't work because you can claim that
Yeah, you want the shop. What I'm saying though, you're creating another road to get round as a rat run, if you like. Because as soon as you get the other side of town, it's clear. It's just getting that bottleneck where you've got Windy Bank to the other side.
So I think this will cause even more bottlenecks, like various different places.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it'll solve the problem that we think. I don't know what they're trying to solve. But it's titled Bus Service Improvement Plan, Sustainable Transport Corridor in Corn Town Centre. Well, I don't think
It's not sustainable.
it isn't, because, as I said before, it's still going to be exactly the same to the junction with Credit Road. So it's not going to improve the bus service, because it's going to take you that long to get through there. I mean, presumably going east, yeah, it might come down. Think that,
Because looking at this here,
and presumably then the Keighley bus will come down to one of those new bus stops opposite the police station.
don't know.
Yes.
So what buses are going through there? Barlick bus, Troben bus,
Where?
through
Through the town
Market Street.
centre. You got 2 bus stops on either side on Market Street. And then you'll have 1 bus stop.
Yeah, well,
either side.
all the ones travelling east will go through.
But you're gonna have that one on
And
Claddock
the
Road
ones
as well.
travelling west, that are on the main line route, will go through there.
Yeah, so you're not gaining anything, because the only bit that you've improved is the short length of from Parliament Street to Court Lane. That's the
I
only bit.
assume Keighley bus would go on to Craddock Road and drop off. Then go around to Market Street and pick up and go back. That's what I assume it would do.
Or
That's
just
what
go
it
around,
used to do.
or just go around Craddock Road.
Because I'm looking at this as well, where you've got Craddock Road onto Market Street or to Albert Road. As you're coming out, it's going to be a give way, so that up and down is going to have priority. But if you've got all the traffic's being told and you're going to go right at that junction, It's going to cause an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, no, I know, I'm just. Well, I'm not a traffic engineer. But I think
I think it's safe to say that none of it's returned.
there are more
Yeah, but you can't
problems.
say that. You've got to tell them why it won't work. That, we need some bullet points, what's wrong with it, don't we?
I think the fact is, I mean, perhaps what they're saying is, because this is a bus gate here, there won't be as much traffic, so the traffic will flow up the hill quicker, but we can't. We don't know, do we? There'll still be traffic. I still think there'll be traffic all the way up to the junction of where Craddock Road and meets Church Street. Yeah, that traffic's still going to be heavy.
I don't think this alleviates the problem of traffic queuing all the way up through the main street at all, because I don't think this identifies what causes that. And what does cause it is the Pelican crossing outside Red Lane. That's what causes it.
It's more than that.
It's that more than anything, because you can stand there and watch it, and it's safe when you're driving through. Somebody will jump across it, so everybody's to stop. Then about 2 cars will get through if you're looking before somebody else jumps on it. If it was a proper control Pelican, it'd get longer amounts of time in between people crossing for traffic to go through. That's what's causing the problem.
One of the problems I've seen is when you've got the traffic that parks outside Greg's and everywhere else, like double yellows, it's got the markers now that says no parking. People are still parking there. You get the vans that park in the parking base, no problem when they've got the overhang. I've seen at least 3 buses go through there, trying to squeeze through and end up losing a window. And they're squeezing through because the vehicle's outside Greg's. And we know that there's double yellows now, but nobody cares because there's no, what we're going to do, there's never any traffic.
But it'd be even worse with this, because there'll be buses going in both directions, not one direction.
But you won't have car. I know you're not going to have cars there. It's not going to alleviate that issue of, releasing traffic. But if you come off the M65 to Skipton Road, how many sets of traffic lights are you going through? There's a lot of traffic.
Anyways,
So how are we going to put some bullet points together?
It's going to adversely.
The reason for not leaving it until full council in a fortnight, we think they want this back before that,
I think
because we've had it a couple of weeks now.
we say that think it may very well stare at the deter people from stopping and going into the town centre. People will bypass the town centre going down Craddock Road, so they won't stop at the shops. Access to the car park.
Well, if you're going down Craddock Road, you can't get into town centre in your car unless you go all the way around to Parish Church,
Yes.
then turn right anyway.
Yeah.
That's the only way through. You can't nip upside at market like you can now.
I was going to say it's got adverse effects on the trade.
Trade,
yeah.
It's also going to have an adverse effect on deliveries to the traders.
Yeah.
There's an adverse effect on parking and disabled parking. Or disability access parking.
As it is now, somebody can come on off Keithley Road, on Craddock Road, turn upside at market, park up because you can park downside there, nip at market, get something, jump in the car and go home. They can't after that. When you put this in, you can't do that. Because you'd have to go all the way around with Parish Church, come back through, and then you still won't be able to get in car park.
Unless you come down and you park on one side. Depends if they're going to get rid of restrictions on marketplace. So get rid of restrictions. Are they going to have one side parking? Because at the moment you've got timed parking on the, is going on next to the market. And now we're waiting on the left hand side. But if you've got lots of traffic going down HGV, because there will be HGV, it's going to have a problem. I don't think it will alleviate any of the issues we've got now. I think it will create more.
It'll certainly, what it will make it difficult for is anyone who doesn't know the area.
well, anybody that doesn't know the area would probably be signposted to go round Craddock Road and down Skipton Road.
And they've missed it.
and you've gone.
And it's a customer gone.
The whole, I thought the whole thing about it with market was to attract more people.
So
And
that's-
this-
that's
this-
Have the opposite effect.
Now, you know, comparing to somewhere like Manchester where they have bus gates, right, that works there because people come in on the bus, get dropped in, can be dropped in the middle of Manchester and be free anyway and all the rest of it.
Then is that not gonna be the same as if they can get dropped off at Hertford Square? Come in
Yeah,
on the
but-
bus,
but
get
the road's
dropped off
too-
at
but the
Hertford
road's-
Square. and most businesses
But the
now.
road's two-way then. So you'd be dropped.
Two-way for buses.
two for buses and taxis.
Well, no, it's got to be two-way for cars as well. Or else.
Yeah.
Or else you can't get to the Red Line car park. Without going down to
What the dock road.
Norfolk Street and up.
Yeah,
Dock
but it's
Street.
saying that it's only two-way after the gate.
Yes, yeah.
Either, it's gonna be a two-way street completely. But it's between the gates, it's just going to be
Buses
buses,
and
Buses,
taxis only.
Yeah,
It's still gonna be two-way street either side. But if you, like, it's like I was saying earlier, if you come up, you're an HGV, you're delivering to Tesco. Or to one of those shops, you can't turn around, you're gonna have to try and get
No.
through the car park. It's taking places, parking away from town centre, it's gonna create more problems. That I can see, it's gonna cause problems for the traders and the people. You know, who come in to buy from the shops.
So we could say then that it'll take trade away from town centre. It'll create congestion within the town centre. What?
parking.
You're taking away
Safe parking.
disability parking
Yeah,
away from the
yeah.
town centre.
Yeah.
Or disabled access parking, if you like.
Think it's got the possibility to increase that.
Well, before you came, what I said to Cheadle was, I said, I can see a bus or something, or even a taxi, coming on Keithley Road. And they'll go straight on at the opposite Keithley Road, which they can do, can buses and taxis, straight into town centre. And people who don't know the area
They do something.
will follow them. And where are they going to go when they, oh, I can't go through here? Yeah. Where do they go then? The only place they can go is downside of Clock, isn't it? Nowhere else to go.
And if you're delivering and you come that way, you're gonna find it very difficult to get.
You're going to be possibly be able to see where you want to go, but you don't know how, you won't know how to get there.
I know there's a car park down there, but how do I get to it? And there would need to be work on Parliament Street car park to take those bumps out of it.
Yeah.
Just try and increase it by.
I think you'd lose some car park, because I think at bottom of at bottom of Hollywood Street, where it turns a sharp right, that's where HGVs have got to pull up and then line themselves up to reverse into
The
the
back,
yard for unloading for,
Yeah.
for shops.
Yeah.
And if that's going to have more traffic going down it, they're not going to get many chances of being able to stop and reverse up
Reverse
because
and do
the
it.
cars moving up behind them.
Yeah.
And they won't be able to do it. So they'll have to realign all that bottom end, so you'll lose some of car park anyway.
So like I say, you got the bus stop there, that's where the bus station is, you got the bus stop is being shown as proposed. Like I say, that's where Boots Park at the moment with their wagon, 17.5 ton wagon, to be able to deliver. See if you've got anybody that's sat there then parked up delivering.
Unless they were to take the wall down at car park and make a way into rear yard for shops, because they couldn't do it that way. So there's 3 bullet points there, isn't there? So do we send them initially?
Yeah,
To
I would.
Ashley Weir and make him the offer and the use of the room downstairs and put on a proper display and have county officers there to.
They might be able to explain as well that if this was put in place due to the forecasting of building a new market and building a cinema. If that was preempted for that, then that's not going ahead. Are they still looking at that?
Well, nobody seems to know what's going ahead with Mark Darley, do they? That's another thing that's all up in arms. Nobody knows.
I know they've got a working group, but I've not heard anything. Even when they've had the last council meeting, we're not hearing anything back saying this one's.
Are you okay with sending them comments?
Yeah.
Perhaps we ought to send it to all the councillors.
Yeah.
Say if you. We'll also say send them back.
Well,
Send them back to.
do we need to do that, or do we just let everyone else have their do better when it goes for proper consultation?
Well,
Because we
why
can
don't
still
we just-
all do it together.
Why don't we just,
We can help provide the information.
I think if we send, we'll just send it out and give them Ashley Thingy's address and say there you go.
I was going to suggest that for the next full meeting, for information, that this was brought up. These are the points that we've asked to send back, but there is also as an information.
Yeah, it'll be a future, but you know,
You can tell Reston and council what we've submitted.
Yes.
Yeah,
we've done this to get it in ahead of time.
Yeah.
I think we'll make the cycle race now.
well, it may, we don't know, it's
Events. Town centre.
whether they ask for the way of running it.
I think town centre, you know, it may affect town centre,
I mean, alignment of road and curbs and things,
may affect.
built out bits might make it not runnable.
Yeah.
Well, I think they take some built up bits away. I don't know what he then deals with that.
I don't think it would affect the road race on there, apart from where the bollards are. That'll be the big hurdle.
So we're okay with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
all happy with that. Yep. Item 9, town hall maintenance.
The only thing really that I need to update you on from the last meeting is obviously that the scaffold is up now at the front. And they're gonna come in, investigate, whether we need to replace the lead on the front and clear the gutter. Other than that, everything else is still. We still haven't got quotes, we're chasing quotes for Albert Road. It's back, it wasn't back.
Yes,
Because a lot of quotes is for PVC. So we're able to get them to change the quote. The shop front.
conservation.
Yeah,
When you say lead.
Yeah.
We suspect that when they went up with Campbell, that some of it's doing in place as well.
saying it's damaged.
That could be, you can let wells. It's a true flow. It's just damage like that, it's just ripped.
Yeah, but it's getting at it, isn't it?
It's just access. That's why we have to put a full scaffold up. We've got to hire a cherry picker to enable them to get, because you can't get access to it from the other side.
Have we got a quote for New Lane?
I don't think we've got a full price yet. I think they're gonna come and have a look first and then give us a price.
Well, knowing what it costs to put scaffolding up, I'd be tempted to bite the bullet and get it done. But it's difficult to do that if we don't know how much it's going to cost.
No, say, the thing to look at is it repairable? Or you're looking to replace it, that's two different things. Repairable.
You were usually lead is repairable up to it getting a certain age, but it's access to get at it because it's not like lead on a normal roof, is that it's tucked away where you can't get at it.
Yeah.
Because this roof comes down, this wall up front, and you need, well, to get to it, to do anything with it, to even get to it, to touch it with your hand, you need an arm with about 5 elbows in it, wouldn't you? It goes down wall up front, and then it tucks up on the back. You can't see it.
But yeah, they won't know the full extent of the cost until they see it.
All you need is a decent crane operator with one basket. The crane. That's the easiest way for
But
access.
knowing how much it costs to put scaffolding up, which is it's not pennies, it's thousands, isn't it? I'd be tempted to say, well, why don't we get it done rather than have to pay another 2-3 grand, whatever it is, to put scaffolding up, and have to pay for scaffolding twice.
That's what I'm saying, if you need access, a crane with one basket, will be cheaper. How much it costs for that up?
Oh, no.
You know, it costs more for a full road closure to put a crane up.
Yeah, it was.
Sure, that will.
But we get away with by doing it this way, we get away with pavement license rather than having to close. the road.
Or close it our way, it's a fortune.
I say, because actually just not there, just do a partial temporary road closure.
Still costs you more than it would a pavement license.
When they're taking scaffolding down,
I think it's up to 4 weeks.
how quick can you get a price?
I don't know. I'm not sure when they're actually due to come in.
I just begrudge pay for putting scaffolding, taking it, paying it, putting it up. They inspect it, pay for it taking down, and then pay for it putting back up to do the job.
Well, no, I'm guessing that if they know it needs replacing, or if they can repair it, then they'll do it. They'll give us a price. I'm presuming that we can authorize it on the work.
Yeah.
I won't just say. No, no.
Yes,
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 give us a price
Yes.
for fixing it.
yes. But do we get it done while the scaffolding's up? I would say yes.
Yeah,
It's just a case of. Yeah. So it's going to be there. Say, well,
well, it's the same company that put the scaffold up. That are looking at the roof.
So they know how long it's gonna be.
Yeah,
So
so,
I would actually cheer them up. The reason being is because we're now in the beginning of September, at the end of this month, we'll be looking at the storms. And it needs doing
See,
sooner rather than.
it might cost quite a few grand to have that lead done. Well, it will. Equally, it's not that long since, you won't remember it because it was before you joined us, but Howard will certainly remember, and everyone else here. It's not that long since it rained in badly in that end room, both upstairs and downstairs. we'd have plaster stripped off the stonework, haven't we? We'd have it dried out for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then we'd have it all replastered, we'd have it all redecorated, upstairs and down. And now water's coming back through
It's going
again,
again.
and it's starting all peeling off again. And that'll cost us far more than having lead done. So
Just out of interest though, when it comes to the legwork itself, they'll provide new lead if they're going to be doing lead bashing. Or what are they going to be doing? What they're going to be repairing. But I'd make sure that something is actually put in the contract. That they don't just take it to weigh in unless it's part comes off that bill.
Yeah.
Because I've seen myself many times on sites. Where they said, yeah, that's ours, we'll take it, it gets weighed in. But you've paid, some of the customers paid to get that replaced. But they don't realise the scrap value. When it's taken.
So is the committee quite happy for Gina to get a price? And because it is emergency work, that you delegate it for her to be able to do it under emergency procedures.
That's where I want it.
And not only having roof still to repair, we've got all wall to do as well. Yeah. So that is the way forward on that then. I don't know. Is there any more town hall maintenance?
No. I think we want to have that one.
There you go.
Oh, I don't even get it. It's here somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Doing
Phil
that,
Rowley one. Oh,
I suggest we take it now.
yeah, if we don't take it now, it's gonna be in the private data, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so can we take the one from Phil Rowley about the tree planting?
I will just read you the email that he sent. So as part of the King's coronation celebrations, funding has been made available for two specific sort of tree planting schemes to commemorate the event. So the first one is the planting of a new woodland, Miyawaki style, which basically means the ground is completely dug over up to 1 meter deep, whips planted and the ground mulched, possibly with a protective fence. This method apparently achieves very high success rates due to the soil structure and aeration. These woodland types are generally the size of a tennis court of approximately 200 meter squares. Or the second option is the planting of a community orchard using standard mature fruit and nut trees. In order to minimise administration at DEFRA, applications can only be made through the Borough Council for the scheme funding. There is a tight deadline window and a bid is required to be submitted to DEFRA by the 26th of September. The funding for these projects will be released in November this year to allow installation before March 2024. The capital funding is subject to a competitive bid process, so is not guaranteed to be successful. The scheme will fund planting by contractors and approved rates have been supplied as maximum allowed costs. But as an example, if we can demonstrate that some of the work will be carried out using volunteers and therefore offer better value for money, our chance of successful funding is increased. As a matter of urgency, please can you discuss this offer with your members and colleagues within your town and parish council and come back to me if you would be interested in being included in our bid ASAP. At this stage, a specific planting location is not necessary, although a couple of potential options would be useful to be considering as the window to practical implementation is quite tight.
Hence why I suggested to you that our suggestion could be the former wildflower meadow on Alpine Park, because it's a mess. You can't do anything with it. It's all bull reeds and a marsh. Trees are daddy it up. Not only that, they would also dry it up to a certain extent, because trees are renowned for drying some parkland areas, because they
They call
obviously
moisture out.
drink the water, don't they?
We're talking about
I think your problem will be in actually digging over the ground in the first place,
Well,
because it's such.
yeah, that digging it a metre deep wouldn't be a good idea from there because we know graders should have to start with.
So the minimum disruption to the ground would be the second option, which is mature trees. Protein community level.
I think if you give that piece of land a long-term purpose then as well.
Just out of interest, I know it's not article, so it says possible production options. Is there anywhere down South Valley that could possibly use that? Is there an area down there? I don't know in that
Down
way,
where,
down on the South Valley.
well. I think we could only propose our land, couldn't we? We can't propose someone else's.
Someone else. Specific location.
Yes,
No, but it does say it will be useful if we did give him a location. Well, I think we can give him that wild meadow as a location.
I mean, given that they've got the park contract anyway, I can talk to him, see what his views are on it, find out. What he thinks.
When you get near a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not as wet near a dog either. Yeah.
So I could just give him a ring. Either one or the other,
Well,
whichever will work best.
Suggest that
Yeah.
site and offer him all lower part.
Yeah.
Because it didn't work as a wildflower meadow, because it's too good a quality a soil to start with, because the wrong stuff grows. But I think trees would grow, well, trees would grow there pretty well, because a lot of them trees we did, hardware very well.
Thing is, you can actually visit wildflowers as well. From the trees.
So you contact him and talk it through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
will do.
What in where? Yeah, do it now under items for a future.
Yeah.
Right, so move to item 10 then, items for a future month's agenda before we move on to private item at the end. You will all recollect that in May, the annual council, when we all accepted and took our committee places, what we wanted, that some of them, basically all the ones sort of allocated to a party that's not here tonight, didn't actually take up their places. And we found ourselves in a position this week, well, this month, and it could have happened on any of the months, that with one member, this committee should have 7 places. There should be 7 people on it. There are only 6, 7, 5. Is it 5 or 6?
Well, you've got 2 and apologies.
Five.
So there's 5, And there should be seven, there always were seven. On previous years, it's always been seven, so we're two down, with only five, so we've one off on holiday. We've one off ill. And which leaves three of us, and we are only just quorate. And it's starting now to get to the situation whereby at any point we could be in danger, you know, if one or two people are off with a cold, flu or whatever, that we would become not quorate.
Especially when we've got the budget decisions coming.
Yeah,
up as well.
especially with budget decisions coming up, so. Well, I want to say, well, there's two things I could suggest. One is we put an item on the next full council agenda offering those places that weren't taken again to the respective people. And if they don't take the offer up and take them, that we fill them with other people. So that we've got the numbers there, because we've got to have three on FES to be quorate, or a third, whichever's the greater of the number. So the least we can have is three. So if we've only five, we haven't much scope. Whereas if we'd seven, we'd be able to be four down and still be quorate. So I think we've got to offer those places again to the respective people. And if they don't take them up, that we fill them. Secondly, on the standing orders, there is one of the standing orders, and I can't tell you the exact number, Gina might be able to do, I don't know. I can't remember the number of letter, but there is one standing order that says, if you know you're not going to be able to attend a meeting, you can inform Gina 5 days prior to the event, and someone else can be substituted onto that committee in your place for that one meeting, which would still make us quorate and would be okay. But you don't always know 5 days before that you're going to break your leg walking across road, do you? So 5 days is a bit long. So another option would also be to change the standing order to what I think, and Howard will tell me if I'm wrong, hopefully. The standing order always was with Pendle, that provided you substituted before the start of the meeting, you could substitute someone on another committee by informing the committee clerk at the meeting. Am I right there, Howard?
Pretty sure that when I took on office, pretty sure I read somewhere that you had to give 48 hours notice minimum.
No, it's fine. It's
5 days.
fine. It's fine.
Pretty sure it's not
It's
48
fine.
hours.
It's 5 days. But Pendleton,
Could you just alter it on the committee, i.e. in terms of reference? The actual.
Committees are part of the council.
well, over the years, I've subbed for, and I've been rung up at tea time and said, so and so can't go to a meeting now. Can you sub in the place? And I have. And it's all been a good board.
No.
Oh, yes, that's good full council. I meant to put it on full council to do it.
Remember the full council, there were two places.
Yes,
You can put it second. So,
right. Well, a bit of extra work then for Gina. Between now and the full council meeting, can you ring Jane Watson and ask Jane Watson what their procedure is? Yeah, because I'm quite happy to follow their procedure that Pendle used.
Sure, that'll be the same as ours anyway. Just
Well,
start
it's not.
Well, no, it depends what we've got in our standing orders.
just to compare them.
To start with, it was on said.
Yeah, you some you can't. I mean, she's head of. Yeah, she'll make the and governance section. She'll certainly know answer to it. We'll change. Yeah. I mean, it passed long before Gina and Naomi came. She actually, when we've had no clerk for whatever reason, she's actually taken over and done it for us. Well, yeah. Other than that, I don't have anything to put on a future meeting. Well, they both to go on a future meeting at full council anyway. We need to request them on.
Yep, I agree with that.
But before we take the places, I think we should offer them again and see if they've changed their minds since May.
Or if they're going to make the effort to attend.
Yeah.
Well, because we've not even had apologies. So it may be the case they've forgotten.
Well, no, they didn't take the places. They're technically not on the committee.
Right. Because surely on that first meeting, they said yes.
No,
No, they didn't. They
Yeah.
refused.
they refused. They refused to accept the places. But before we put someone else on, I think we should give them the benefit of the doubt, see if they've changed their mind and ask them if they want to fill those places.
Yes. Yeah, it's just. There are two of them.
Yes. Yep.
Change.
Yeah.
So, yes. Yes.
But either Jane Watson or Howard Culshaw for that matter would tell you exactly what we can and can't do anyway. Yeah, I'd ring Jane. But you might get one in same year anyway. Yeah. So that brings us to item 11, the date and time of next regular meeting, which is the 3rd of October. And now I'll move exclusion of the public. Then hopefully Gina can get home before the kids go to bed.